Okay. Let's see how that works. Okay. That's detecting. That's transmitting. That tab is muted. Now let's see if that does anything. Okay. Alright, that is there. And we are coming through just fine, I think. I hope? Ah, well, we'll figure it out. Okay, board, water, paints. What is that shit? Okay. Brushes, paints, let's go, let's go. Hello, hello. What's poppin'? Hello again, youtube.com user Stidgian. What's hanging? Okay. I'm online. It's on. Chat's working. Music's playing. Brush get. Why is it bent? It's like head is like bent. Anyway, I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Nothing bad could possibly go wrong, except for the fact that I just slapped my microphone really hard, but that's fine. I'm sure the sonic experience wasn't that awful. It probably was, let's be real. Okay. Let's take a look at you. What do I still have to do on you? So today, I'm going to be continuing my in-progress paint job of this little freak right here. Big Ghaz. It's been a while since I've sat down to paint him, so I have no idea where I left off last. Okay, there's a couple of grays that still need a little bit of coverage. Most of his bronze brown is there. And there's definitely some yellow highlights on his belt and stuff that I definitely need to go back and address, as it were. It's pronounced Stygian? Well, I would not have guessed that. I would have assumed it was pronounced Stygian. And I was just pronouncing it incorrectly as a bit. I'm not very smart. I'm not a smart guy. Okay, what paint do I need? What paint do I need? You'd think I'd be able to sort all this out beforehand, but that's not my style. I just like to dive in and make all my mistakes live on camera. That awkward 15 minutes where you're still setting everything up, I do that live. Why wouldn't I? Or that, I guess. Listen, anytime somebody says anything in chat, there are two wolves inside me, right? One of them knows how to pronounce their name correctly, and part of me thinks it's really funny to pronounce names incorrectly. However, the other side of me believes that referring to people in a way they do not wish to be addressed is also very mean. So I am constantly at war with what's funny and what's right. And honestly, that's just a metaphor for who I am. Meow? Meow. Meow. Wait, hold on. Meow. That never happened. No one saw that. Okay. My screen name doesn't have a correct way of pronunciation intentionally. Good. That's the level of chaos we love to sow in society. Nobody knows what's going on. And keep them guessing. Okay. I think I'm gonna get started with... Let's bring this in so I can actually see. So what am I looking at here? I think I've still got a couple of bone textures that I need to do on him. Like, he's got the horns, and he's got the claws, and so I still need to sort of, like, round out those colors a little bit. One step at a time, though. Just so I can say it wrong, regardless of how it's pronounced. That's good. That's exactly the way I do it. I will teach future generations to tell lies on the internet. Because that's my style. Alright. Okay, I have been setting up for too long. I should actually sit down and start painting something. Because if I don't start painting something, I will simply not paint anything. And then I will die alone and unfulfilled. Story of my life, honestly. It's like 1 AM. Should I get up and start painting something as well? I mean, you should probably start some sleep. How does that sound? When was the last time you had a full 8 hours? A while ago, I would guess. Let's see, okay. I'm just getting my paint ready. Now for these darkened layers of bone that I'm using, I'm kicking it off with some Raycarth flesh. That is my bone color of choice at the moment. That is my bone of choice. I love spreading misinformation on the internet. God, me too. I have never been sincere on the internet once in my life. I had this bit, right? Like, I had this running joke that I would continuously do, where anytime I would say a fact about myself on the internet, I would simply say something incorrect. You know, whether we're talking about my height, my age, my... Well, mostly just height, let's be real. Anytime I have to list my height on the internet, you will find that the number changes from the last time that I mentioned it, and that is intentional. No one can know a single thing about me. I am an international man of mystery, and I prefer to keep it that way. I've gotten a healthy amount of sleep twice this past week. Well, see, that's the thing. In order for it to be considered a healthy amount of sleep, you need to do it regularly. Like every night. Maybe that's just me. I'm old, man. That is a mini. No, it's a maxi, because it's big. Don't actually call it that. I think that's a word for something else. Hi, Ethan. Hello. Hello, hello, hi. What's going on? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What are some tips you would give to small artists? That's an interesting question. It's also a very broad one. Art can be many things. Art can be funny little videos on the internet. Art can be drawings. Art can be paintings. There is so much that a small artist can do, or be, on the internet at large. And so the thing I would say, if you're a small artist on the internet, is I would say, keep making stuff. Never stop making stuff. Now, I know that might sound like the relatively empty platitudes that most creators give on the internet, in the guise of like, yeah, just make stuff, have fun, you know, like do what you want. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not about that. It's not just about having fun and you know. Wait, hold on. That's absolutely not what I wanted to say. Immediately, I have to run that back. I need a coffee or something, but it's too late for that. Anyway, if you're a small artist on the internet, the number one advice that I would probably give is to, yeah, like people say, just make stuff. You know? And I don't mean that in the sense of like, yeah, just make stuff and one day you'll make it big. Like, getting quote-unquote big online is mostly just a matter of luck. Let's be honest, like, nobody knows. Anybody who tells you they know the one secret algorithmic trick to going viral, they are lying to you. Nobody knows how that shit works, and it changes every other day, okay? But the thing is, you have to keep making stuff, because sometimes that random lightning strike of luck will hit you. But it can't hit you unless you're going out there waving around the lightning rod trying to post stuff. So yeah, if you're a small artist, just make things. Make things you like, make things that you have fun making, and make things that you want to make. You know, there's nothing worse than spending 5 hours on a video, an art piece, a miniature of some kind, perhaps, and then realizing you didn't get any personal fulfillment of that whatsoever, and you were only doing it because you thought other people would want you to do that. Don't do things for other people, do them for yourself. Because if you're not having fun doing what you do, even if you make it big, or even if you get a large following or something, if you get a following doing something that you do not enjoy, then you're gonna have a bad time. This is absolutely not how you should hold minis when you paint them, by the way. This is an insane thing that I'm doing now. Oh, what? Okay, I looked away from the chat for 2 seconds. Making stuff is the best advice anyone can give. That's exactly right. I've been trying to paint some custom Hero Forge minis, and it's been questionable at best. Getting into mini painting is hard, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Like, mini painting is one of those things where if you, like, look at an online tutorial for it, it looks so easy. It looks so easy. Like, they're just wiping brushes over everything, and then it's just like, oh, it's done. It's fully painted. It looks majestic. Like, out of every single creative pursuit you could possibly do, I feel like mini painting is one of those ones that looks way easier than it actually is. Because, like, the masters who've been doing it for, like, God knows how long, they literally go out there, and it's all in, like, knowing how the materials work, right? Like, it's everything from knowing how much paint to put on your brush, to knowing how much you need to water it down, to knowing how much, like, comes off the brush with every brush stroke. Like, there's so many, like, fine motor skills that you learn with mini painting that if you just watch someone do it, and they're already really good at it, it's gonna look super easy, and you're gonna beat yourself up when you don't find it as easy. But see, that's the thing. You keep getting out there. You keep trying, and you keep getting a little better at it every time. That's it. That's it, man. Dude, you've got a good vibe? Hell yes! Ethan Cat has passed the vibe check. Tonight and every night. That's honestly just my main goal in life, is to just pass the vibe check. Whatever it is, whatever situation, right? Like, it doesn't matter where I am just consistently trying to pass whatever vibe check is put before me. And you know what, sometimes I don't, and that's okay. You can't pass the vibe check every time. I like to grasp my minis while I'm about to crush them while painting. I can't bring myself to do it. That was one of those moments that I have in my head where I'm like, God, wouldn't it just be really funny if I just crushed this thing with one hand? But then that would be a waste of like $90 worth of plastic, and I'm not ready to make that commitment yet. Where is my Rhinox hide? There it is. I can't function without my Citadel knob. He can't fit. He can't fit on the Citadel knob. He's way too freaking big. And that upsets me. Because now I have to hold him within my clawed fingers like some kind of goddamn animal. When I have this like $25 thing of plastic that's supposed to hold him. What am I supposed to do? Put it upside down? I can hold this for like 2 seconds, but as soon as I get a brush on there, like this man's falling to the floor. I am so nervous right now. You have no idea. My blood pressure has spiked. It is 150. I don't know how blood pressure works, so I don't know if that's high or not. I think it is. It sounds like a big number. They have an XL Citadel knob? Oh. I was gonna say, maybe I should invest in that. But this guy is literally like the biggest mini that I have, you know? Like, as soon as I'm done painting him, I will have simply no reason to own it. Unless I buy more. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm onto something. Unless those things for other people are commissions and get that bread. Hell yes. We love getting bread in this house. I've never understood miniature commissions or like painting commissions for Warhammer. I feel like the painting is the vast majority of the fun part, you know? Maybe that's just me. Maybe the epic pro gamers who are more into the competitive side of things probably want to just, you know, get their minis tabletop ready as soon as possible. But that ain't me, man. That ain't me. I like taking my time, you know? I like taking my time. Even though I arguably take too much time, I'm very slow at painting. Glacial, some might say. Myself included, because it's a big word that makes me sound smart. There we go. There's more than enough space to put my dumb fingers without smearing paint. I am one of the, like, biggest serial fingerprint smearers when it comes to Warhammer. Like, I don't think they're around me at the moment, but I'm working on a bunch of Squighog boys, which are the big orcs that ride the fucking dinosaur dragon little dudes. And those things are covered in fingerprints. Like, it's genuinely quite bad. Well, not bad per se, but like there's a lot of fingerprint stains on those little guys that I'm painting. But because I'm painting like little monster dinosaur men, the fingerprints almost look like a kind of intentional like scaling texture. Like it sort of looks all the squigs have kind of like scales, except it's just my big ass fingerprints stamped into the paint. So I'm going to pass it off as intentional, even though, in actuality, it couldn't have been a bigger mistake on my part. Some people like painting, some like collecting, some like the game, some like competition. It's true, there's really something for everyone. And if you're an absolute freak, you love it all. Ugh. Hated that. Some people just want batch paint priming or batch highlights for Slapshot. That's fair. Like we said, there's something for everyone. Okay. This model is like super dusty. I really, I gotta be careful because every now and again I will just like bake a really thick layer of dust into my miniatures. Because they're just sitting on the side of my desk while I'm not painting them. And then after time they just get dusty, and then I put another layer of paint on, and they get this horrible texture. And I have nobody to blame but myself. We get everything in the Ethan family fun hour. I wouldn't say my content is family fun. I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm not exactly out here espousing adult themes or general mischief. I mean, I do say fuck a lot, so that's definitely one not great thing to my name. Tweak just to make sure I'm in frame. There we go. And now I've knocked over my copper paint. Yes! I love it when my actions have consequences on people around the world. I love doing a silly thing on the internet and then having the effects of my actions felt globally. I'm a menace across the seas. Ugh. Don't give me that dream copy pasta. It's too funny. I fucking love that. I fucking love that. Do you wish you could do anything? I love that copy pasta. There is an ice cream truck outside my house, and it's really scary sounding. I don't know if that's gonna come through the noise suppression. But it's like... It's not a good ice cream truck sound. The chimes are warped. It's kind of off-key. And it's one of those ice cream trucks that's really old. And the fact that it's still running... it can only be used for murder. Like, that's the only reason why this vehicle that sometimes passes my street is still in operation. Yeah. Yeah. Jesus, that ice cream truck is so loud. Oh no! I do not control the heavy vehicles which pass my door. I don't control anything that passes my door. I have no control over the actions of other people. And that's a shame. Can't hear it over the cashews I'm eating. Good. Honestly, everybody who watches this stream should just start eating crunchy things. That way you don't have to listen to me. Don't drop it. Don't say that. Because now that you've said don't drop it, the funniest possible thing for me to do would be to absolutely beef this thing and drop it onto the ground. But he's also made of really flimsy plastic, and I love him. So I don't want to hurt him in that way. You see the predicament you put me in. Hey, want that Emga Gargant yet? I am not accepting deliveries to my house. I'm simply not. If you wish to give me an item, you must track me down in real life. Don't do that. Don't do that. I exist on your phone screen and nowhere else. I am simply not real. And you need to remember that. I am entirely AI generated. You could not find me in the real world even if you tried, so don't try it. You should drop it, it would be really funny. It would! It would be really funny. Ugh. That's the worst part. I thought when I made that short where I finally got the barrel drill and I used it for the first time, there was an idea that I had. Here's some behind the scenes Ethan content. So when I was doing my thing where I was like, I'm never gonna drill a barrel in my life, and I hate the fact that people clamber at you to use one of these things. I'm never gonna use a barrel drill unless you give me $40. And then someone did give me $40, so I had to buy it. But I was gonna do a bit where I was like, okay, it's my first time using the model drill. Let's see how I go. And then I wanted to get like a Space Marine, like a chunky Space Marine, like a Terminator like this, right? I wanted to get a Terminator like this, and then for the bit, because it's my first time using a drill, and that's absolutely not going to focus unless I move out of shot. Focus! Come on! Ah, well. I don't need to focus. Anyway, the bit I was going to do was, like, because it was my quote-unquote first time drilling a barrel hole, I wanted to completely carve out his chest cavity and just have there be a massive circle, like, right there. And then I wanted to be like, I don't think I did it right. But then, that would involve me completely destroying a Citadel miniature that I have and paid money for. But it would be funny, though. So you see the predicament that I'm in, right? Why is that not focusing? Focus. I will do just about anything if it's funny, you know? Ugh. That's the problem. I commit to the bit, and I commit too hard. Ethan is trapped within the confines of the internet. That's right. P.O. box in the future? I don't think so. You know, like, I think the era where creators on the internet had having P.O. boxes was a thing. I think that's gone now. Like, I know that was a bigger thing in, like, the earlier 2010s. Like, creators would have P.O. boxes, and you could send them. And it was very much a thing on YouTube, from what I remember. But I think we're past that now, in the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't think people are as like, unless you're a really big creator with, like, a studio or something, I think smaller creators are a little more hesitant to allow people to mail things to their house, or what have you. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, because now, even if I did have a P.O. box, all it would take would be for someone to, I don't know, send me like an air tag in the mail, and then like, boom, I'm done. Wow, that's bad. Couldn't move that. Open a P.O. box so I could send you anthrax. See, that's the thing, you're joking, but someone would totally do that. And then I would post like an Instagram story. I was like, well, guess who's just been hashtag anthraxed? But see, then, if I even mention that I've been anthraxed, people will be like, oh, this is the anthrax guy. I'm going to anthrax him as a bit again. And so then now I'm just the anthrax guy. You know what I mean? That was really loud for some reason, and it really wasn't in real life. Is why we don't do that anymore. Yeah, because you keep getting anthraxed. Open a P.O. box so I can send you all my minis to paint because I'm lazy. I wouldn't give them back. I simply would not give them back. And that's just something you would have to accept. They're mine now. If you send someone something in the mail, you are wishing it goodbye, and you are simply not going to get that back. But yeah, I think the era of creators having like P.O. boxes for people to send people things, I think that's gone. I think we're past that. Yeah, I remember one of the D&D podcasts that I listened to back in the day. Like, they had a P.O. box, and like their fans would send them things. And I know that like every now and again in their PO box they would get like invitations to people's weddings, and they would be like, "Hey, congrats on the love," you know. If someone that I didn't know genuinely invited me to their wedding, I would. I mean, part of me would think that's beautiful, but I would never. I wouldn't go. I would simply not go. You know what I mean? I firmly believe in stranger danger, and as much as I love you are all strangers to me, as I am to you. Never forget that. I think sending more unpainted plastic to the VO box would be worse than anthrax. Just a never-ending pile of shame. I mean, my pile grows enough as it is, you know? Like literally yesterday. Hold on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Down here. My pile of shame grows enough as it is. Why did I buy these? Why did I buy the Mega Knobs? I mean, I know why I bought the Mega Knobs. I bought the Mega Knobs because they're the only unit that you can field on the tabletop with Ghazghkull. And if you don't field Ghazghkull with anything, i.e. Mega Knobs, because they're the only unit you can field on the table with Ghazghkull, then he's just all there by himself and you can immediately kill him. So by giving him a bunch of Mega Knobs to field on the table with him, you give him some resilience and durability. You know what I mean? Which is a damn shame, because hey, no one's saying this, but I'm gonna say it. Mega Knobs are fucking ugly. They are one of the worst Orc model kits, in my humble opinion. Maybe that idea will change when I start building them, but based on just the raw models alone, Mega Knobs are ugly. I said it. I know we have a very uplifting and positive community here. Everyone is beautiful and unique in their own special way, except if you're a Mega Knob. It's just a big box with legs, and the only... Your arms can go like this, or like this. And of course that's not gonna show because it's vertical, but... They just have like... They're just like... They're basically T-posing. Like, they don't have interesting poses. Anyway, I can't be mean to Mr. James Workshop. Well, yes I can. I can be as mean as I want to Games Workshop. They're not paying me. And I doubt they will. Greetings to you, YouTube user Adam. He has arrived indeed. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the Mega Knob slander stream, and I simply will not apologize for it. But I got a box of them, and I'm gonna paint them. So that's just my burden to bear. Okay. Trying to even out some of the bronzy browns on his carapace. But I think I've got a fine enough coat as it is. Do you have a Stomper? They just released a Stomper box. See, I think the Stomper is very on brand for the Orcs, but I don't know. I know it's very expensive because, like, the Stomper is very expensive because it's obviously very big, right? And like, I know that. I understand how that economy works, but I think if I was going to spend like $200 on a single big model, I think I would want to buy something else. Like, the Stompers are big, they got really big guns, I know they're really good in the tabletop or what have you, but they're also just kind of a big tube. You know, like, for the price of a Stomper, I feel like you could get most of an Imperial Knight. And I feel like they would be more fun to build and paint. Stompers to me are like one of those... I feel like they're one of those units that are really good on the tabletop. So you're mostly buying it for that. And I'm not at that level yet. Like, now I can still have fun building and buying models that I think look cool. And maybe if I get a little bit more competitive or a little bit more into the game side of things, then I can lean into that a little bit more. But I'm not there yet. Still curious as to what you're listening to music-wise? I have thrown on the original soundtrack for the hit indie game Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. And if that sounds like a literary and pretentious title for a video game, it is a pretentious literary game, which is one of the reasons why I like it. It's like this really interesting indie game about like traveling across the, you know, frontier America, collecting stories from all of the, you know, settlers and frontiersmen you encounter. It's a really interesting game, but like you play it and it's like, damn, this is the most indie game I think I've ever played in my entire life. Like, it is art project with gameplay, and that is both a compliment and a criticism. Hi, what's up? Says YouTube user Silver. We are out here painting. Or I am, at least. Painting little freaks. Little freaks who are absolutely not going to focus in shot for some reason. Focus on the model. Show them the Ghaz. There you go. Of course, the light's really going to wash it out. But I'm mostly done, I think, with the copper base coat across him. You can kind of see on some areas, like his, what do you call them? Whittle toesies. I've put a sort of more like shimmering metallic paint. And I want to put that somewhere else. I want to put that across other parts of him as well. But that's also like a finer detail thing. Like, I think I can do that later. Right now, I'm mostly focused on making sure the majority of the base colors are down. Ethan, have you heard of the hit indie game In Stars and Time? I have not. If there is a video game or just a piece of media that is considered good and popular, you can assume that I haven't seen it. I am supremely uncool and behind the times. I need to push the agenda. I love it when fan bases and fan communities have those kinds of people in them. Like, as long as your project has at least like 5 evangelical fans who will push it on anybody who will listen, that's a recipe for success, baby. Warhammer only works because they have like 20 of those guys. And I've met 7 of them. The other 13 are in this room. All Ghaz, no breaks. Hell yeah! That's what I'm going to call my army list when I run Ghazghkull with the Cult of Speed. Like, it's just Ghaz and 5 shock junk dragsters. Or like whatever the rocket cars are called. It's literally just going to be Ghaz and rocket cars. That is going to be my next competitive list, and there is nothing anybody can do to stop me. I haven't even gotten all the way through, and like I'm scared to keep going. That is honestly the greatest compliment a video game can have, quite frankly. I fear for my life playing this game. Good. Oh, hey, you are live? I am! I'm live and in real time. Anything you say will be read by my eyes, right now, in this moment. That implies that I don't read comments that aren't posted on lives. I do read those. If you ever leave a comment on any one of my videos, I can guarantee you that I've read it. And if I haven't interacted or responded with it in any way, what has happened is that I've read your comment, I've thought to myself, I need to formulate a response to this, so I can make it worth this person's time. I think of a response, go great, that would be an excellent response to this comment that I got. But by this time, 2 days have passed. And so if I respond to the comment now, it's weird. And this is just the continual hell of anxiety that I have to live with. It's great! It's great. You look so good in makeup. Thank you. I try my best. Whoop, that's too much spin. I try my best. I'm trying more of the makeup stuff lately. Well, I say that. I'm trying more of it for YouTube. Like, all of my alternative fashion, like, makeup and outfit sort of stuff that I do, like, that's mostly, for the time being relegated to, like, Instagram and TikTok. Mostly Instagram, let's be real. Whereas on YouTube, I'm kind of trying to figure out a way to make that all work, or if there's a space for that there. Maybe YouTube is just a place for me to... Truck. There's a big-ass truck. But yeah, maybe YouTube for me is just a space for, like, you know, Warhammer and nerd stuff at the moment. Maybe I'll do some more, makeup stuff on there, but, you know, I'm feeling it out at the moment. Like, YouTube for me right now is just a place to yap about stuff. And I don't think I've perfected the art of yapping about makeup and fashion just yet. But I still think it's fun to do, so... Room tour? Absolutely not. You are only going to get to see this very specific rectangular aspect ratio of my living environment, because the rest of it is a nightmare. Let's see, what are we talking about? Unmade bed, clothes on the floor. There's just a bin in the corner there that I haven't used. It's... My living space is a mess. And I have nobody to blame for that but myself. But see, I can mitigate that by only showing you a very, like, select rectangular portion of that living space. I was gonna say I just moved into this house recently, so I don't really have any other decorations to show off into this room. But I'm literally now coming to the realization that I've been living in this place for like a year. So I probably should have some decorations up at the moment. Hello, fellow goblinoid. Hello there! We're all weird gremlin things in this house. And I wouldn't have it any other way. You're all beautiful, you freaks. Sometimes I really question my life choices, like, why did I become a dice maker? Oh right, baptism demanded it. Good for you. Everyone needs to find their calling in life. And sometimes, it is simply spurned by our neural physiognomy, and that is okay. You look like a mix of the Joker and the Riddler. Riddle me this! Shoots you with a gun. That's what you really need to be a Batman villain. Listen, people have been saying I look like the Joker for a while now. And you know, that's okay. I am content with the fact that living on the internet is just being told you look like something or someone else. And that's okay. That's 100% a skeletal laugh. That's my actual laugh. That's how I sound. Now, of course, I have to, like, cram this brush right into this guy's cheeks, into a crevice nobody is gonna see, but I'm gonna see it. So it's important to me. Look at his back there. You can, like, sort of, like, just see a little bit of the yellow loincloth behind him from his rear angle. So I need to make sure that's adequately yellowed as well. Want this air tag I've been trying to get rid of since my divorce? Don't send people air tags. This is what I'm saying. This is why people don't have P.O. boxes anymore. Because we have commercially available tracking devices that you can just leave around. Don't do it. What a table I've been trying to get rid of since my divorce. I cannot accept furniture at this time. I picked up a gaming chair that I found on the side of the road. Like, sweet, cool, expensive gaming chair. And now that it's in my house, I'm immediately full of regret. Like, I'm like, oh, I have actually, like, no space or reason to use this. So now there is just a fuck-ass chair off in another room, just waiting, and not being used for anything. Hold up, you look hella familiar. That could just be, I could be anybody. I could be anyone. But you know what? I'd rather be me. Think about that. Gotta yellow the taint. Ugh, so true. That chair 100% had a roach on it. No, I gave it a pretty good dusting down. There weren't many spaces for bugs to be hiding. Like, I'm pretty confident that the chair that I pulled out of the garbage isn't full of bugs. I know the brush cramming. Oh god. See, this is why I keep all my brushes. Anytime I need to cram a brush into like a model's taint or like a really tight space just to get like maximum coverage of a flat color, that's where I keep all of my really old shitty brushes that I'm not going to use anymore. Wait, oh my god, I just realized why you look familiar and it isn't a good reason. It's not a good reason, but it won't be anything that I haven't heard before. My life is agony. And it's all for you. 60 termagants in the gaming chair. And there's the, yep, there it is. Put $1 in the jar. That's the most common one that I get. That's the most common one that I get. You know what's crazy to me? I have no idea who that man is. People tell me that so many times. And I have no idea what they're referring to. I've seen the man. I've Googled him. I guess he was a celebrity sex criminal and like way before my time. I know he was a man who jumped around in a banana suit and that's his legacy? That's his legacy? I don't know. I don't know. The crazy thing is you don't look like it and you can't understand why people say it. I've given up. I've given up at this point. I've resigned to my fate. I've resigned. Are you Willem Dafoe? That's one that I don't mind getting. Willem Dafoe is a good man. He is a good man who is absolutely dripped out 24/7. Willem Dafoe is the kind of man that I'm going to become when I get older. Not in terms of visual looks or anything, even though. But in terms of the fact that I'm just going to get older and more insane. I think it's the sideburns and the eyebrows. Well, in that case, I'm getting rid of both of them. I'm going to cut these back to here, and I'm going to completely remove these. Wouldn't that be scary? Ooh. If someone sends me $200 on my donation link in my link tree, I will shave my eyebrows. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I have to stop saying. I have to stop saying that I'm going to do things on the internet because. Ugh. I mean, I just don't see it at all. I don't either. But at this point, I'm just tired, man. I'm tired. I swear to God, if I come back next stream and you're without eyebrows. Well, don't tell me it'll be funny, because then I'll do it. You know I'll commit to the bit, and that's the problem with me. You know I'll commit to the bit, and that is my biggest problem. Real talk, though, I will go bald at some point. I will go bald at some point. Like, that is just something that I am, like, fully cognizant of. And it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, but I still have a couple of years left. I still have a couple of years left. How's the pile of grey shame going? Well, let me put it this way. My current painting to-do list is old Ghaz right here, a plane, a Dakajet over there, a whole bunch of Orc Commandos, all of the Tyranids from the Leviathan pack, which I simply just haven't touched, a couple of Space Marines, which are half painted, about a dozen or so, and I just bought some of these fuckers. The pile grows. The pile grows. Going bald, time for some badass head tattoos. I don't think that's my style. I think if I do end up going bald, it's just gonna be like full, like smooth buzz cut, like absolutely. I'm talking Agent 47. Like that's I think more my style. Not a big tattoo guy. No tattoos. No real like interest in getting tattoos. You know? It's just kinda it's just not my thing. It's just not my style. Mostly because I'm indecisive. Like tattoos are like, okay, I have to put something on my body forever. And because I know how to draw, because I can draw things, it will have to be something that it would have to be something that I drew myself. Like, I don't think I would get a tattoo artist to like make me a design from scratch, because I can design things, I can put pencil to paper and do all that. But because the only way I could get tattooed is if I design it myself, I'm not gonna like something that I've drawn enough to put it on my body forever. So that's just kind of where I'm at. This is kind of where I'm at. Nice to see someone on here doing something different to tarot cards or flashing flesh. I have absolutely no idea what the YouTube Shorts vertical live streaming like ecosystem is. I've never seen a single like YouTube live stream. Maybe I should check them out for market research. So I have no idea if what I'm doing is different, better, worse, what have you. But I just want to paint some little guys. I just want to paint some little men. And he's not focusing again. Focus on the green man. Show the world this green man that I've painted, please. Don't look at my face. I don't want you to look at my face. I want you to look at this big green man. There you go. There you go. None of the detailing is done. It's all just like flat colors in the moment. But when the detailing is done, he's gonna look bronzy. Because it's bronze. The Agent 47 barcode would look hot under an undercut. That's real. That's good. Get some 40k tats. I don't think I will do that. Because I feel like getting a 40k tattoo. See, the thing is, everyone in 40k is bad and not good, you know? So I don't really want to like have any of their iconography on my body forever. I mean, Chaos maybe. Like Chaos, I feel like if somebody has like a Chaos tattoo, like a Chaos Legion tattoo, that's just fantasy bullshit. Like that to me is no different than getting a name in Elvish or like, you know, one of the symbols from the Witcher like magic thing. Like that's fine. All the Chaos symbols are fine. Somebody has the double-headed like eagle from the Imperium of Man, they're immediately on my personal watch list. And probably the FBI's. We're just getting a Carl squad in here. Every Carl, meet up at Ethan's stream to watch him paint. To watch him paint and listen to him yap about some bullshit that not even he knows what he's talking about. I'd be afraid of getting a symbol and somebody mistaking it for a Nazi tattoo. Yeah, that's why I want to stay away from the Imperium stuff. I feel like all the Chaos symbols are like enough of like they're fantasy bullshit. Like you can get away with that. Like there's the guy on TikTok, or the guy on TikTok. He's just a guy who does Warhammer stuff. But I found him on TikTok. He's another creator. I cannot remember his name. I think it's something in Russian, so I have a hard time remembering it. He's like this absolutely like jacked bodybuilder, like full competition level, like strongman. He wears these tiny little like Pilsner shades. There's like these tiniest black circles. Is absolutely jacked as hell. Builds nothing but terrain. Love all of his content. And he's got a huge Chaos tattoo, like, on his shoulder. And it's, like, big and right here. And it's good shit. So, like, that's what I say when I think Chaos tattoos are fine. Like, if you're gonna get a tattoo, like, have it be one of the Chaos symbols. Don't get the Imperium tattooed on your body. They're not good. Then again, he also had a dice sword and a trash poker style for blood spray that says roll for initiative. Good grief. That's one of the other reasons why I'd be hesitant to get tattoos. Because, like, say I get a tattoo about Dungeons and Dragons, let's say. What if I don't like Dungeons and Dragons at some point? Like, I don't think that's going to happen. But what if I, like, stop playing Dungeons and Dragons for years because I move away and all of my friends slowly go resentful and hate me? And have to be like, yeah, I got this tattoo back at a time when I had friends. I should probably reflect on why this is the scenario that my brain is concocting, because I think that might be speaking to some deeper-seated issues. Also, hey, I just realized I'm streaming on a computer and my battery is literally about to die. Holy shit. Holy shit. Fuck. My charger fell out at some point and I don't know when. Oh god. This is terrible television. Okay. We're charging. Oof. Corn or Slanesh? That's the question. I feel like I feel like I vibe with Slanesh more because I'm like a big fan of the Emperor's Children and like all of that sort of thing, and they have like a very like goth aesthetic, whereas Korn is more like, you know, grr, big red demons, whereas Slanesh is a little bit more like, you know, goth kind of thing. But I also feel like Slanesh has a lot of other connotations that maybe I don't vibe with all the time. What is this old head talking about? God, I don't fucking know, man. I just... I am the wrong person to be asking about that. Okay, what do I need? Oh, I need to, like, hold him up to the light so I can actually see what I'm doing. Might even do that one myself when I get a tat gun. Ooh! We doing DIY homebrew tattoos here? Sweet, sign me up. Okay, there's a couple of... I'm noticing there's a couple of, like, metal rods on the back of him that aren't quite painted in yet. Let's see if I can get that to focus and have a look at it in the camera. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so there's like the metal rods on the back of his legs are painted grey, but the metal rods connected to his armor back here haven't been painted yet, so I have to go back and make sure those are painted too. Gotta make sure all my bases are covered. Love it. So basically, Korn is metalheads while Slanesh is goth girls. Well, I know what side I'm on. Oh, that's awful. Hello? There we go. I love it. We're getting our own naming systems. God, there's so much like there's so much mechanical detail on the back of his model here, and I just realized it's going to be like a nightmare to make sure all of this is covered. I also realized, like, I don't even know if what I'm doing is, like, best practice or accurate or what have you, because I'm, like, painting the metal bits in standard Mechanicus Grey, with intent to paint them with Lead Belcher later. Like, is it a good idea to sort of, like, build up a black base coat to a grey undercoat and then go into metal? Or can I just go in and just, like, lather it in Lead Belcher? I don't know. I'm giving it a try. Carl 2. Yo, are we talking about the classic animated Canadian animated television program Carl Squared? The TV show about a kid that clones himself? And he just has a clone running around? There was a lot of strange animated television programs on Australian television back when I was a kid. Like, one of the things that I found when I talk to a lot of North Americans is that I will just, like, name drop a cartoon that they have never seen in their entire lives, but it was one that made a foundational piece of my development. Like, I could mention the animated television program Carl Squared, and nobody would know what I was talking about. But if you were watching the ABC, Australian Broadcasting Channel, between the years of 1995 to 2005, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't deny it. And the crowd goes wild with recognition. Yeah, this is my announcement that I'm changing into one of those, like, weird nostalgia bait channels where they just post old clips of TV shows that you watched when you were 7. Okay, I think I'm gonna change tack a little bit. There's a big cord that's like running on his back. And I think I'm gonna start painting that red. He doesn't have a lot of red on him. It's mostly just a lot of bronzes and bones. So I'm gonna see if I can paint some yellow on him. I love it when the audiences of my streams engage in industrial action. I love it when the people in my streams collectively create a union. One day there's gonna be a fucking I don't know. One day someone's gonna rob a bank and it's all gonna come out that they met in my weird YouTube stream chat. Changing my name to Carl, so I'm gonna make things more chaotic. No! Please! Can you paint his weapon purple? I could! I could paint his weapon purple, but I'm not going to do that. And not because I dislike you as a person. Well, no, I'm kidding. Now, one of the big things for me when it comes to mini painting is consistency. Like, I really like the fact that, you know, this guy shares the same color scheme as this guy, who shares the same color scheme as this guy, who shares the same color scheme as this guy. Nope, not this guy. This guy is a different guy, but you get what I mean. You get what I mean. Okay. The Carl Coalition. It's what Marx wanted. God bless. Do you think Karl Marx was like... Do you think Karl Marx got into Marxism because Marx was his last name? Or do you think it was just like a coincidence? You know, like... Do you reckon he saw, like, Marxism and was like, oh, that's my name, that's funny, I'll check it out? Or do you think that ever, like, occurred to him before he got into the whole Marxism thing? Because it is very ironic. It'd be like me, you know, getting into a hobby called, like, Ethaning. And it's like, oh, wacky. What a small world we live in. It's true. We love Makari in this house. He is far too small. My camera isn't going to highlight on him. I really like Makari. I fucked up. I screwed up gluing the banner to his hand, so now his wrist is broken and it's like slightly off kilter. But that's only a bad thing if you look at it too closely, which unfortunately I do. So, who up Carling them marks? Please don't get me demonetized. I worked so hard for this. Who up calling they marks? Okay. Now, the perceptive amongst you may know that Ghaz usually has like a bunch of like cords running across his back. I have neglected to glue those on. I don't know why. I love that Karl Marx's great-grandson does parkour on YouTube. Good. It's what he would have wanted. Combat Carl. We're specking different Carls now, are we? You gonna go for a combat Carl, a ranger Carl? I've been thinking about building support Carl myself. You know, it's got this really nasty ability that like drops your cooldowns by 20%. It's crazy. So surprised they even let that into the Carl game. What am I doing? What am I talking about? Ridiculous. I always have to remember that when I'm working with red, Mephiston red specifically, I'm like, okay, I have to be very patient, and I've got to layer this up. I swear, every time I try to paint something Mephiston red, I always try to go too thick in the first layer, and it, like, completely destroys the model's quality. Because I'm just globbing paint on. Great work, thank you! Go get some food. Feed your mortal body the sustenance that it requires. Because without food, we die. Did you know that? I do. I know this because I learned it. Okay, what do I still need to do? I need to, like... I'm being blowned by the light. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what I can do here. I feel like most of the primary base coating is done. Or rather, it's done enough that I don't really need to, like, pay too much attention to it. So I think I'm finally getting into the... I'm finally starting to get to the... I'm finally starting to get to the stage where I can actually start doing some of the fun coloring in. I'm eating a lasagna. Hell yes! We love that. Hey, don't make fun of me for how I pronounce the past tense of blound. God. I don't like the word blinded. I know that's the grammatically, like, correct way of saying it, but I don't like it. Blound just sounds more right. And I don't know how to describe that to people. Like, they look at me like I'm insane, and at this point, I'm starting to see what they think. But I'm sitting here being like, okay, there's an ability in this game that has rendered me blinded. There's a lot of D sounds. Just say blound. Psychopath in the making? Baby, I'm already there. I fuck with blound? Hell yes. Blinded? I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that to people. People do it enough to me. Okay, alright. I'm gonna put down the red. And I'm gonna pick up... I have a paint over here. What do I need? You are not a paint. But you are the lifeblood of the human body, so I'm gonna drink you. If you're blindfold and something is out of your periphery, is it out of blounds? Okay, now you're just making fun of me. Now you're just making fun of me after I put my heart and soul on the line to provide people with, you know, a modicum of cheap entertainment on the internet.com. I do this for free. And you come here, and you mock me relentlessly. That's rude, and I will not stand for it. Good night. Get out of here. Have a good sleep. You deserve it. For all that combat you do. What are we doing, mate? What are we doing to you? Now, I have no idea. So, like, I'm in a bit of a predicament, because, like, on the back of his pack here, you see how he's got these two, like, black shapes on the back? It's kind of like his vent pack has a scrotum. Like, he's got an orb and a canister. I don't know what colors I should do there, right? Because, like, what's interesting to me is that it's like... Well, first of all, they're not the right shapes. Either of them. Just wait to see if that focuses again. Yeah. Like, you see one of them, like, the one on the left there is, like, an orb. And one on the right is, like, a cylinder. So they're, like, they're not the right shape for each other. So they're asymmetrical. So, like, I don't feel like I should paint them really bright, ostentatious colors to be, like, a centerpiece of the imagery. Of like, the model, rather. So I'm just stuck as to what color I should paint them. Like, do I just paint them copper like everything else? Maybe I'm about to give it an underlay with a metallic paint. I'll see. Good night, Combat Carl. We'll miss you. I just got hit. What's the lore of the funny little character in your hands? Well, this is Ghazgul Mag Uruk Thraka. And if that sounds like a real orc name, that's because it is. This guy's like an actual character in, like, Warhammer lore, so I don't know if I'm gonna do, like, a little lore video for him, because he exists. Like, he is a character who, like, I don't need to make lore about him. There's a whole book you can read that, like, chronicles his adventures. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe I'll write, like, a 200-page fan fiction where he kisses Gilliman on the mouth. That'll be my lore. He's named after Margaret Thatcher. That's so based. I'm not going to look up whether that's true or not. I'm simply going to take your word for it. If you're lying to me, then you will have to deal with the consequences of that. You should put as much effort into the back of your model because that's the side you look at the most. Ah, yeah, that's true. That is true. Okay. I'm trying to, like, get as much light in here as possible, but I also know that that makes the recording look janky. That's fine, though. I guess that's true. If you are running him on the tabletop, you will be looking at his butt more than his face. Yeah, butt. Okay, what am I doing? What? Am I saying it wrong? Ghazgul Mag Uruk Thraka? Ghaz? Okay, I have made this coat way too watery, and that is simply just what I'm gonna have to deal with. I always do this. What, they say 2 thin coats? No, I do like 5 water-thin coats. Because I fucked up the consistency and the texturing literally every time. Literally every time. Big McLarge Huge. Okay, you know what? That's gonna be the name of this guy now. This is no longer the canonical characterized model of Ghazgul Mag Uruk Thraka. This is now my own original creation, Big McLarge Huge. I will be selling t-shirts of him on redbubble.com. What spelling of Jesse should I go for with my new name? A new name that you choose should be entirely your choice. That's my opinion. If you're deciding about how you want to wish to be referred as, by, how, you must look within. Do you want to play on your current name? Do you want to build a new name? Do you want to build a whole new identity for yourself? Only you can answer these questions. And besides, if you ask me what you should be called, I'm just going to say something stupid like Crumble. Is he an American and supersizes everything? I have seen McDonald's paint jobs on Warhammer Minis before, though, and they are all delightful. Like, there's a person online, I genuinely couldn't tell you who you were, or who they were, or, like, what their handle is, but they do a lot of, like, McDonald's Ultramarines, which I think is really strange and clever. Like, they even painted, like, a Ronald McDonald, like, fucking Gilliman. And it's one of those, like, joke paint jobs. It's like, oh, yeah, haha, funny concept. But the actual execution of it is so well done that you're like, damn, maybe I should paint all my Space Marines to be Ronald McDonald. Because I'm seeing the vision and it works. There's also one that's going around again recently where it's like, what you call it? Like Woody from Toy Story, but Necron. It doesn't sound plausible, but it works. Great Unclean One Grimace. Why would you say something so controversial, yet so brave, and so true? Incredible. Imagine Happy Meal Warhammer. We can dream, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's the biggest fear of everybody who's like, oh, the Amazon TV show's gonna be like sanitized and kid friendly. You're not getting Space Marines in your Happy Meals anytime soon. I feel pretty confident in making that bet. And even if you do, even if we do get Space Marines in Happy Meals, that's just more Space Marines, baby. Wouldn't that make Traz and the Hamburglar? That's so good. That's so fucking good. God. What a concept. Buying Necrons right now just to make that a reality. I mean, monochrome Necrons would go pretty hard, though. Like, let's be real. Like, if you painted Necrons, like, fully, like, straight black and white, that'd be a look. And you'd be right to do it. Honestly, stark black and white is just a good color scheme in general. I see why people play the Black Templars now. I see the vision. Black Templars are scary, man. I don't like them. They're too big and too spooky. No, the Amazon show is cancelled because of work. Oh, damn. Oh well. Stupid. Watch the show open with a Slanesh cult. God. I want them to do a Warhammer show, and then I just want them to, like, not focus. I want them to focus on, like, the least popular elements of the franchise. Like, everyone's expecting Space Marines and big battles. I just want, like, a light-hearted rom-com about a couple of Votan dwarves falling in love. That's what I want. Or, like, it's one of those, you know, 12-hour slow TV shows where, like, nothing happens. And it's literally just a bunch of custodian guard standing at the foot of the fucking Emperor's throne room, and they just don't move. They don't do anything. The show focuses on the Tau. I mean, I feel like the Tau are pretty popular, though. I feel like if that was a way that they wanted to go, a lot of people would be happy. Which is weird, because, like, I don't... I don't know. I have weird feelings on the Tau. Like they feel kind of out of place for me, but I like that they're there. I like the fact that the Tau are present and kicking because I think I enjoy them because they are so different to everything else that exists. Like they're refreshing. It's a change of pace. Oh. Can't wait to see Henry become unmoving custodian guard number 4. Yeah. Everyone's talking about how Henry Cavill's gonna play the Emperor. I feel like if Henry Cavill was like if he is the really big fan of Warhammer 40k that he says he is, I think he would cast himself as like a really weird nothing role. Like he's gonna be fucking Commander Yarrick's like boot collector. Or like just some really random small cameo just to be like, hee hee. I'm subverting expectations. They're actually really decent, but everyone recycles the same 2 memes from 10 years ago, so nobody actually likes them. Welcome to just Warhammer in general, I guess. Even if the Leagues of Votann get lore, people are still going to say that they don't have lore. Because that's the bit. That's the goof. He casts himself as a servitor. God, that's what he should do, honestly. Like, I think genuinely that's what he should do. Unironically, cast Henry Cavill as a servitor, just have him in the background for like 2 shots. I think it would be really funny. Super fucking funny. Stagnation also applies to the memes in the 40k fandom. That is true. Are they stagnant? Sure, but that's how everybody gets into it, so it serves its purpose. So at the end of the day, it can't be that bad. Alright, okay, what am I doing? Alright, okay, I can feel myself starting to lose steam, so I'm just gonna do a couple more layers of Warplock Bronze. The brave hero who gets shot for some minor violation in the first episode. That would be good. Yes, set us up in the first episode. Episode? Yeah, see? Set us up in the first episode with, like, a bunch of characters who you think are going to be the main characters, and then have them all immediately killed off horribly. And then just move on to a completely different cast of characters. I think that would be funny. And I'm always right about things. Okay. Alright, my layers of Warplock Bronze are starting to thin and dry out. Ooh. And so is my energy for the night. So I think I'm probably gonna wrap that up and call it there. I made some pretty good progress. It's one of those painting sessions where I don't feel like I've made much progress in the grand scheme of things, because I'm mostly putting layers of colors on other layers that are already there. But it's all like important stuff that you need to actually like fill out the model, right? So yeah, here's where I'm at. I made those yellows a little bit nicer. I started putting some red on the core that runs around his side on the left there. And very subtle, but I've also started putting some very thin layers of Warplock Bronze to make some of the bronze a little bit more shimmery. A little bit more shimmery. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that where it is for the night. Thank you all for coming out and hanging out and having a good time. I feel it's good to have some company to yap to while I paint. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evenings, and may all of your models be painted well. If it's not evening for you, I don't care. You're gonna have a good evening, whenever that might be. Alright, take care, team.